Namaste. My name is Prakash. I represent the Heartfulness Institute. It's a pleasure meeting you all through this video interaction. When it comes to brain development, there is a famous humorous joke that I use in all my sessions with leaders, students, and faculties alike. There is nothing right about the left brain, and there is nothing left in the right brain. And where would the brain development come from? We all are one of the most fascinating creations in this universe. We are at the pinnacle of creation, called as human beings. The ones apparently vested with the ability to think, Homo sapiens, the ability to think, the ability to discriminate fundamentally. At a very low level of discrimination, we are the ones who can differentiate easily between what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what is not to be done. At a higher levels of consciousness expansion, as you keep on expanding your consciousness, you tend to become slightly better in using this great faculty that all of us are vested with, our ability to discriminate. What made the Naren into Vivekananda? Vivekananda is a person who, through the process of discrimination, was able to attain bliss, Viveka and Ananda. The same possibility is something that exists in each and every one of us. If you look at the life cycle itself, one of the biggest advantage that we have to start with, as I said, is our ability to discriminate, which comes from your ability to think, which is one of the functions of the mind. Mind is a field, and if you're able to use this field well, it allows you to have a fertile soil through which you can sow and reap whatever you would like to do. Some of us are like the compost at the lowest end of this soil. Compost is considered a waste, something from where the waste something comes up. But even if you look at compost or a mental compost, it is something which is still useful. Even at the lowest level of evolution as a human being, we still have tremendous amount of use to our mental faculties. As the soil, which is used at the lowest level with compost, which produces fruits, trees, and everything else that you want. It allows even snails and small germs to churn and make the soil fertile. The same is true for us also. Many of us think that we are not always on the same plane as many of the evolved human beings as we see. But please remember that everyone started at the same level. What they evolved into was because of their ability to think, to ask questions, and move from the stage of thinking into something higher. Mental compost to mental composure to a heartful composure is something that is a great possibility for each and every one of us. This journey that we can take, the potential is there in each and every one of us, is something really huge. All it needs is only two faculties to move from a mental compost situation to a state of mental composure, and then to a state of heartful composure, which moves us towards unleashing the true potential of what we are. Each and everyone has the potential. If you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is one of the famous motivational theories from the 1940s, Abraham Maslow is one who defines the various stages of motivational needs of a human. At a very low level, he speaks about survival needs or hygiene needs, where we spend predominantly all the time in searching for food, shelter, safety, and things like that. Once we cross that stage, we move on to other needs, and finally we culminate in what is known as a self-actualization. Only in linear thinking, we need to move from one state to another. A person, unless he finishes first standard, cannot go to the second, cannot go to the third, cannot go to the fourth, cannot go to the fifth. The same is true for linear thinking people. Many of us think unless we are finished with the survival needs, we can't move to the self-esteem needs and then move up the ladder to self-actualization needs. The self-actualization is when the true potential that you are capable of, you on your own efforts are able to unleash with a little bit of assistance from outside. When it happens is when you blossom, and from a state of mental compose, you move to a state of mental composure and to a state of heartful composure, and finally you unleash the divinity within. You literally are on par with what God has made you for in this earth. This process starts fundamentally with a state of discrimination. If you don't discriminate, you continue to compose. No harm. Even there you do produce certain results. You are still useful. You still continue to exist. For every person who is born and dead, there is always something that happens in their life. When you are dead, normally what happens based on your faith, you are either buried or cremated. Let's say that you are buried, and in the place of your burial, they put something called as a tombstone. In the tombstone, typically what is engraved is the year of your birth and maybe the date and year of your death. And then they put a hyphen in between. And this hyphen symbolizes the life that you have lived in this earth during your plane of existence. Whether it's 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, whatever lifespan you have lived, it is our duty to give meaning to that hyphen which exists from the time of our birth to the time of our death. When you look at that hyphen in the tombstone, whenever I see pictures, I always am fascinated by the possibility of every human being that has been lost in just sheer sustenance of life. When we just composed, is it what we are born for? Maybe yes, we need to survive, we need to eat, we need to live, we need to be peaceful in this plane of existence. But would that suffice? This is where the ability to discriminate comes in. Viveka is fundamentally your ability to ask questions, find out what is right and wrong. At some point of time, move up the value chain. The better levels of Viveka is when you are able to differentiate between effect and cause. Effect is when we focus on the output, whether it's right or wrong and things like that. The true Viveka is when we're able to focus on the cause. What will cause the effect? By being what I am supposed to be, which is the cause, I can create an effect which is what the world will see. If we start focusing on the cause, which is the true Viveka, which is what Naren did to become Vivekananda, the same possibility exists in each and every one of us for us to move up the human value chain. As I said, for you to think and ask questions, one of the best tools available is for you to dive within. The best of the questions that are asked, is this what I am born for? Am I going to die with this? Is it my true potential? Is there something else that I am capable of which I can become than just dying as a vegetable? When I say dying as a vegetable, just as a compost, where I have not expressed. They say that one of the best freedom that is available to human, the true freedom is to express yourself fully. It was said by a famous philosopher of 1,000 years ago. Imagine the potential, your ability to express yourself fully. Each and every one of us is given a canvas where we can use the paints and colors of our choice to paint one of the most beautiful, vivid painting of our choice, of an unlimited canvas. Why restrict yourself to 1 square inch of space and draw or paint something which does not allow you to express yourself in full? By diving inside, you start exploring the inner universe and asking questions. And this is where the tool of meditation comes in. While there are several definitions for meditation, one of the most apt definition that I have got through my gurus is meditation is a process of asking questions inside of yourself. And this reservoir of unlimited universal knowledge and experience which is available inside of you will start giving you the answers. And when it is aided by the pranahuti from the Guru, from the God, into your heart, the questions that you ask are now resonating with the highest universal frequency. You have no choice but to get the answers for any questions that you ask through the process of meditation. Because you are not just asking yourself, but you are asking the divine which is inside of yourself by allowing the true self to unfold itself through the process of pranahuti. And when that happens, the true genius of every human being unfolds. We find what we are truly capable of, and we start unleashing that potential with or without our knowledge. Each one of us become a true replica, a true fully unleashed potential, I would say, person who has unleashed his potential and understood. And it's like using energy. What is the point in having energy but not expanding it for what it is meant for? The same way, the process of meditation, with a little bit of help from the process of rejuvenation or cleaning and prayer, helps a lot for you to move from a state of mental compose to a state of mental composure, where you are able to look at life in a very balanced way, what we call as a sthita pragya. Irrespective of what happens, you, like a lotus leaf in a pond of water, are able to see life. Mental composure is one of the facets of people who are considered to be mentally resilient and tough. The same thing what happens to you and me happens to them as well. And because of that mental composure, a mental composure is what you build for yourself as a character. When you are able to develop the true vairagya through the process of viveka, and when, like a bird which is able to fly above and still observe what is happening, you also develop that bird's eye view. You are in it, yet you are above it. You are moving from a state of mental compost to a state of mental composure, where every facet of your mind works in resonance with the highest self which is inside of you. And if you start moving from this, you move from the state of thinking to feeling. You are able to feel what you are truly capable of, and then you start searching for that true feeling what is inside of you which is being expressed. You move to the stage of becoming, and finally you are in the state of being, which is nothing but the full expression of what the God has designed for you. Allow it to unleash. Why hold back and just be a compost in this world? You are designed for greater things. Every human being has the divine potential inside. It's up to us. It's never too late. Whether you are a 15-year-old, whether you are a 50-year-old or 80-year-old, the journey can start anytime. That is truly the fun portion of heartfulness meditation, or the process that we have. Go out and unleash yourself. Meditate. Find your true nature, which is nothing but godly. And once you unleash that, every possible treasure that is available for humans who have achieved the greatest, whether it's an Einstein or a Mahatma Gandhi or a Babaji Maharaj or Daji or anyone, the same is available for you as well. We from Heartfulness Institute wish you the very best in this journey of diving deep within yourself and moving from a composed stage to a composure stage, and finally to realizing the true divinity inside, which is the greatest free gift available to each and every human. I wish you the very best. Thank you very much. Namaste.